Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
And this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast. What's going on with you, bro?
Yo, man. It's another Friday, man.
For sure.
I mean, listen, these goddamn people got to put some respect on this show name, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This shit, man, in there wrapped up like I said it was. Mm-hmm. And I am definitely excited for this episode, man. But how you feeling, man? Everything good?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. You know what I'm saying? Just got the great news. Deshaun Watson is coming to Cleveland, you know what I'm saying, to play for those Browns. So excited about that. Ooh, excuse me. Also, man, I was listening to this podcast earlier, bro. It's like one of these like newer ones, you know what I'm saying? Just They had a very interesting topic. But I've come to the conclusion, man, that like this new generation of women is trash, bro. Like, I'm telling you, they are trash. Like, if they anywhere from the age of like 26 and down, like anything between like 18 and 26, they are garbage, bro. It's horrible out here for these young boys, man. This chick was talking about how her boyfriend, right? She didn't like the way that he was carrying himself. Now, like, mind you, dude, wasn't nothing wrong with him. He wasn't cheating on her. You know what I'm saying? He was respectful, had a great little office job. I think he was like an accountant or something like that. But, you know what I'm saying? He was, you know what I'm saying, like a pretty quiet dude, I guess. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really with a whole bunch of nonsense. So one day, they decide to go out, you know what I'm saying, and have a night on the town. You know what I'm saying? A little cool date night. And I guess they went to a bar. And at the bar, you know what I'm saying, she had got hit on. So when she got hit on, her boyfriend didn't like, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't in the dude's face. He, you know what I'm saying, he just kind of, I guess, politely told dude, like, excuse me, man, you know what I'm saying, it's my girl. You know what I'm saying? She kind of spoke for her. So she didn't, and the dude backed off and everything, like he respected it, everything. But she didn't like the way dude approached it. Her boyfriend approached it. So she ends up like losing the interest in him because of that situation and sleeping with his best friend. I'm telling you, bro, these young women are trash today, bro.
Yo, I heard a story. So, I'm a huge advocate of Ebro in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. So they got this segment on there called Curve. So dude called, sent an email to the radio station, and he's like, yo, I don't know, why old girl never called me back, this, that. He was like, now there was a situation where, we was leaving this place and a couple of guys tried to holler at her or whatnot, but he was like, he didn't think it was a big deal or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So they called the girl. See, the whole segment of Curved is Ebro them called the girl and act like the dude ain't on the phone. So she's yeah. So she's like, yeah, we went out. The date was good, but then these guys started harassing me, and he didn't do nothing. Mm-hmm. And she was like, and that's why I didn't call him back. And so old dude was like, yo, like he said, first of all, he said there was like 4 dudes, and he was like, so the dudes like kind of catcalled her a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he was like, the thing is, like, he kind of told him, like, yo, I'm with her tonight, whatever. And he was like, it was all cool. But she tried to make it seem like, because Ebro was like, yo, like, what do you want him to do? You want him to fight 4 dudes? And she was like, he's with me. He's supposed to be protecting me. And I'm like, yo, like, are you serious?
So trying to get him killed, man.
Yeah, trying to get the dude killed on their first date. This their first date.
Oh, yeah, ain't no protection. I don't even know you. What are you talking about, lady?
I'm like, yo, like, for real? It's like, then they ended up, getting it down to, she was like, yeah, well, maybe he could have, pulled me closer or some shit or whatever. But, like, it's just like, yo, because like what do you really want the dude to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like on the first date, I'm supposed to fight off 4 dudes because they trying to holler at you.
Yeah, man.
Like,
You new age women are trash, bro. So you know what I'm saying? Just had to get that off my chest, man. I when I was listening to that though, like, and she was like really justifying it though. Like she was like, yeah, I mean, like, what if the guy would have touched me or what? But and dude was like, well, he was like, he didn't. He was like, he pretty much kind of told dude like, yo, this my girl, like, chill. And dude, chill. It was like, that's the best scenario you would want to happen.
Exactly.
He was like, what did you want him to do? She was like, I'm just saying he didn't have any aggression. She was like, I want my man to be aggressive. It was like, that's the most aggressive thing he's probably done in his life. He said he literally stepped to a dude and said, hey, this is my chick. Move. And dude was like, respect and walk. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I don't know, man. That was a very interesting pod though, but it was it's one of those newer joints, you know what I'm saying? I think they on like their 3rd episode. I forgot their name. I had to look them up and shout them out one day, but that was a great conversation. So before we get started, man, you know what I'm saying, doing what we do, we have to tell you guys a little secret. And that little secret is what we watching. What we watching? That was quick. So this week I was on Netflix and it's been out for a minute, but I decided to check it out. And it's called The Worst Roommate Ever.
Oh, I've been looking at that, but I haven't watched it
yet. Listen. It's about this lady who owns a boarding house. And she basically lets people come stay with her and she kills them. Quick synopsis. Yeah, I really want to get into it. Go check it out yourself. It's a 5-episode doc. But yeah, it's wild, bro. Like it's wild. Like at one point, I don't know if I'm like hearing this right, but I think like at the part where I'm getting, I think she like seducing one of these dudes. But she like an older lady though. So
listen.
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
Yeah, that's something I'm definitely gonna click on, man. I've been seeing it. It's something I've been wanting to click on, so I'm definitely gonna watch it. So that was it. You only had that one this week?
Oh yeah, that's all I got, man. Netflix, man, worst roommate ever.
So I found this movie. It's streaming on Hulu right now. It's not a Hulu original, but it's streaming on Hulu right now.
Right.
It's a movie that I came across. It actually came out last year, and it's called Gully. Starlit cast, man. I forget what the main character name is, but I remember his face from he was in Godfather Harlem. But man, you had Jacob Lattimore in there. Mm-hmm. You had Terrence Howard in there, Jonathan Majors, Robin Givens, Amber Heard was in here. Lot of characters, man. And what basically it was 3 friends. And not to get too deep into it, like one of the dudes, he was actually kidnapped as I would say he was maybe like 6 years old. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing, like he is like in his late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
And he was kidnapped by a white man. And basically the white man kept him in his house. He let him, go out and stuff like that, but like he had him live there basically by himself, and he would just come through and like rape him and all types of shit like that. Yeah, so he basically now had this kid fucked up since he was like 6 years old, and like to the point where he don't talk anymore. And Jacob Lattimore, he has some kind of mental illness because he has to take pills, and his mama had to get on him about taking pills. Mm-hmm. And he has a problem with mixing up video games with reality. You know what I'm saying? And mm-hmm. So basically what ended up happening is they was playing the video game, and the video game kind of looked like Grand Theft Auto. They just couldn't use like the likeness from Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. So they was like, yo, let's go do this shit for real. So they basically go out and start doing the same shit that they're doing on the video game. Mm-hmm. Like they just walked up on the dude, snuck him, hit him upside the head with a skateboard and beat the shit out of him, took his keys, stole some pills, and stole his car. Like, like so, and then they're just going around, just doing everything they do in a video game. So, it's actually associated with Rock Nation.
Oh, okay.
So, it's a very interesting movie, man. It's tackling a lot of things, a lot of kids that are getting obsessed with these video games. It's tackling mental illness. It's tackling one dude, Jonathan Majors. He just got out of prison and he's dealing with the whole thing of coming out of prison, having to stay at his mom's house. There's a lot going on, man, and it's just it's a lot. And it was a movie that caught me by surprise. Cause I'd never heard of it. Like it didn't have no publicity or anything like that. So everybody should go out and support this movie, man. It's a really good movie. It's streaming on Hulu right now. It's called Gully.
That's what's up, man. That is what's up. All right, man. So back to it. Season 5, episode 5, Snowfall. Our season review. I was thoroughly impressed with this episode. And to me, this episode reminds me of the way it was written reminds me of like when you talk to like one of those like old head gangsters, and then like they tell you about like a point in time that happened to it. It's like something that happened to them, and then like they tell you that one story where you be like, man, that shit didn't happen for real. He be like, man, listen, I'm trying to tell you, man, that shit happened. This episode, that's what this was like to me. Like the tiger getting chased by the Vatos, everybody getting ran down on, Leon getting his revolutionary on, telling Ivy, you know what? I can't take the rocket launcher. Just give me a whole bunch of pistols and shotgun. Like that's what this seemed like to me, man. It seemed like, you know what I'm saying, one of those old head stories where everything just like it was just like a bad day. You know what I'm saying? It started off great, and then it just like took a turn for the worse. What was your initial thoughts after watching this one?
I agree with everything you said, but I guess you could say it started out great, but it went south really fast. But not even the crazy stuff, just the fact of Franklin and V going over to talk to Jerome and Louis, and they don't want to invest.
Right.
So it kind of went downhill kind of really quick. So with that part, because they got approved for the buildings that they want to get, but they really don't want to invest. So it was one of those things where it had me pondering very early, like, what do Louis and Jerome got up their sleeve? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for them not wanting to invest in real estate and to be like, yo, like, that's your dream, that's not our dream. And I think the way that Franklin looked at it was like, real estate don't have to be your main hustle, yo. Like, I'm just trying to get you to a point to where y'all can wash y'all money a whole lot easier. You know what I'm saying? And a whole lot faster. It's like, I don't think Franklin's asking them to be an investor. He's not asking you to turn this into your dream. So like, I think that if he would have tried to do this without them, I felt like they probably would have been mad because he didn't involve them. And then when he tried to involve them, they feel like they kind of shitting on him. But yeah, it was a very wild episode. The tiger completely caught me off guard.
Yeah, big time.
Completely. And for them to, well, we'll get into all of that. But my initial thoughts was, this was an action-packed episode that really, really have you thinking, because there's some little nuggets that are dropped in here. I don't know how you took them, so I can't wait to get into that conversation. But there was a few things that was being said, and it's like, it seemed like there could be a point of a finger, but then you could kind of be like, man, that wouldn't make it that easy. But then at the same time, it's like you might think that we wouldn't make it that easy, but this is what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to know what you think about this, man, because this was one of those episodes.
I think it's the nigga who made the diss tapes.
Hell no. Nah, I don't see that. The only way. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the only way that could be something. But this is another reason why I think it's not that. So the only reason that it could be that is that, like I said last week, if some of those tapes got out before Jerome got them all, and so then people know, like, yo, Franklin got it, and we have to take everybody out to basically get his shit. That's the only way I could see that dude being tied into it.
If you don't think that everybody know Franklin got it by now, they just don't know he got it with the CIA. But everybody know Franklin got it, bro.
Yeah,
we talk about the hood, bro. We talking about in the hood. Second, go back and watch the episode and listen to what dude was saying. He was knowing everything.
Yeah, but I don't think that he knew what a drop was. I don't think he knew where. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. I think that the fact that Black Diamond and Dallas and Peaches just happen to be off on this day. Now, I know it makes it very obvious to the point where you be like, that can't be it because it's too obvious. But then at the same time, it's like, especially when it comes to Peaches, because Peaches could have an excuse.
Okay, well, if it ain't him, he got something to do with it. Put it like that.
But and this is the thing with Peaches, though.
Peaches got HIV.
Thank you. Because remember when old girl was working on fixing Teddy up, she was like, we got to be very careful because a nurse, she said a nurse got she said a nurse got HIV, so she put the gloves on. She's like, you got to be careful.
Yo, what is the connection? Okay, maybe I'm tripping, but what is the connection between her and
Teddy?
Yeah,
I don't know. She obviously. I don't know if we saw her like season 1 or 2 or whatever. I don't remember her either, but obviously they got a relationship. And she was just like, so basically when you don't need me no more, you just cut me off. And he was just like,
she's a common freak.
She's a what?
She's a common freak, man. Did you see what she was doing?
Dude, she was sitting there rubbing one off in front of Teddy while Teddy was laid out. It was just like,
because she fixed the bullet wound? Yo. And then she found the dope. Oh my god!
Yeah, see, I'm excited to see what she gonna do with that because the way she was acting and whatever she had Teddy on, Teddy was high as a kite, like he was just giggling.
Damn cocaine.
I don't know, but
I can't believe he did that.
Well, he's smart.
That was smart though. It was smart.
It was smart.
I just can't believe he did it.
That was some crank shit. Like he knew, like, yo, if I don't get myself high, I'm gonna fall out.
No, when she threw that salt, man, I'd have jumped up and killed her. I'd have choked her out with one hand. Like, why would she do that?
Because you had to stop the bleeding, man.
Nah, man, you could have got some alcohol. You could have got some peroxide. You gonna throw some table salt on my joint? Texas Chainsaw style, man.
And she just happened to have a eco size damn table salt just sitting there,
Texas
just already ready.
Style. I was like, I know he going through it. But yeah, that was but not. I think dude has something to do with it. I think he's somehow involved. I think that honestly, I think it's a mole in the operation.
I think so too, man. But like Peaches, he could be involved, or Peaches could really be laid up in the hospital just for HIV.
HIV, man.
I think it's that he got HIV. I do believe that, but my thing is, I know Black Diamond in Dallas goes to the highest bidder, but it's just like, who is it?
And they just pieced it up with Jerome and Louis.
That and Jerome and Louis pieced it up with Scully. So it's kind of like,
well, we don't know that. We don't know that.
Well, he gave Jerome.
That don't mean nothing.
Thing. I'm just saying. Look, you have to put all of the suspects out there on the table.
Now, don't forget them niggas. All them niggas was gang members.
That they was, and they talked about how the game got real crazy. And I think that Franklin is not the only. Now, the CIA could have other moles out there just dealing with other drug dealers, and they just never mention them to us, well, the viewers. Or either these dudes are going, you know what I'm saying, straight to the source and getting that shit, coming in from Mexico.
That's actually a great point. The first point you made, that's actually a great point, because when Leon and them killed the one dude and he fell out the car, he said, yo, we checked him, and this nigga ain't had no identification and no nothing in his pockets. He was like, that's weird. So that was actually a good point. I forgot all about that part. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Maybe this is a CIA move. They trying to get rid of the evidence before, things happen.
Yep, because Teddy took a shot too. And Teddy could be expendable because he hit the first time around, his cover got blown by Franklin's dad. So it's kind of like, yo, I've always said that he was expendable. And then I used to say in the very early times is the fact that he has to, that stash that all of these drug dealers always have. I said, Teddy gonna have to have a stash too, because the CIA could turn their back on his ass too and just be like, just like old girl said, she said, yo, you look like a drug dealer. So like Teddy could get so far under to the point where we don't really know. Man, there was a point when we was talking about season 4, we was like, yo, is he really a CIA agent anymore? Because it kind of felt like,
I mean, at the beginning of this one, you kind of thought that same thing, like, yo, what that motherfucker be on? Because remember, he was out. They was showing when he was all in the forest and the Amazon rivers, and you know what I'm saying, working with the people, and something might have clicked, man.
It might have. So, I mean, look, there are a lot of suspects, man. It could be the government paying these guys to do this shit. It also could be, which I don't think it is, because I think it's just too early.
Yeah.
It could be whatever this dude is that's talking to Sissy. I don't know what he is, because this is the thing. Sissy met with old dude, and dude gave her a pen to listen in on Franklin, because he wanted her to put it in Franklin's office. And she was like, nah, that's one thing I'm not going to do. That ain't what we talked about. That ain't what I agreed to. Like, I'm not setting my son up. And he was like, I'm going to leave the pen with you, and you do what you want to do with it. For him to call a hit like an hour later on everybody, I just don't think that. I don't think that it's him. But I'm throwing everything out there. I think it's too early for him to make that type of call. So I don't think it's him. So I think I can rule him out. But like when it comes to Peaches, I don't rule him out completely. But I do believe that he is that patient zero that got that other nurse the HIV, and that's why she was so cautious on putting the gloves on when she worked with Teddy, because she was like, yo, there was a nurse at the hospital that got HIV. And I think that Peaches might be ground zero. Now, Black Diamond in Dallas, it's just now those girls got a lot of connections in the hood. They don't really show it, but knowing that the way that they got down season 4 and how they getting down now, they always said they'll work for the highest bidder, but it's just like, who is that top guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know it ain't Ivy. So it's just like there has to be another person. I can't think of anybody else though that could be involved in this unless it's the CIA just trying to clean everything up and get this whole crew out of here. Don't leave nothing behind. I don't know unless we're gonna be introducing to a new character, but I don't see them bringing in a new character.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up getting a new character, but also, I think that it's a mole in one of the groups, right? Because even with dude that was talking to Leon, he was like, "Come on, man, we gotta go talk to this crazy motherfucker." And he was like, "Man, who do you think he talking to, man?" He was like, "He forget he worked for me."
Yeah,
that was a little, that was a little off the wall there. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to just be, just randomly doing something. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that, you know what I'm saying, we had a turncoat in there. And I mean, as we already seen with Scully, people are ready to take over and get into a certain spot. And I, you know what I'm saying, it's not shocking. It wouldn't be shocking if, you know what I'm saying, you had that same thing going on Franklin's side of the venture. So I just think it's somebody that's on the inside because it was too easy for them to find out where everybody was at.
I mean, they dropped the dime on everybody.
That's what I'm saying. It was too easy to find out where everybody was at. Now, what could be possible is it's the cop. Remember, he was in that room. He was in that office. And he was in there with the pot.
Mm-hmm.
And when Louis walked in, she was like, "Yo, what you doing up here? Like, you can't just be popping up in my office. You know what I'm saying? When I ain't here." Maybe he bugged it.
The only thing with that is, unless they followed Franklin, how did they know what a drop place was? You know what I'm saying? Like,
all they need to, I'm pretty sure they followed him. I'm pretty sure they followed everybody. All they need to know is when they moving.
Yeah. It just feels more like an inside job.
Either it's an inside job or it's the cop. I wouldn't be surprised for real if it was the cop because I think he done bugged him. Because remember when he walked up to Jerome, he said, "Man, who y'all end up messing with? They got y'all, you know what I'm saying, that's doing the drive-by at y'all." And remember when they met under the train tracks, they was beefing. So I don't know. This is one of those shows, man, where you literally have to pay attention to everything, especially in a situation like this. Like, you got to pay attention to everything that everybody's saying.
Okay. Devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons why I think it's not him is because he wants to make a buzz. He wants to make an arrest so he can move up. Calling a whole bunch of hitters to hit everybody at the same time, that wouldn't get him the promotion that he's looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, how could they tie it to him though?
They don't have to tie it to him, right? Say if they'd have hit Franklin and Teddy at that spot, they leave out, call him, "Hey man, went down at such and such and such. We got the money. You know what I'm saying? This what we left behind." He pull up on the squad, boom. All he got to do is just lie and say, "We seen him here, we seen him here, we seen him here," and he take down the whole thing. Because notice they went after Franklin first, then they went after Louis and Jerome, and then they went after Leon. So somewhere in between there, they're gonna do that. And don't forget, he was the reason that the raid happened in the hood too.
Yeah, he was the reason for the raid. I just don't. I don't see him using those type of tactics
I
when.
definitely do.
But this is the reason why I don't, because when Louis was like, "How you gonna do your people like that?" And he was like, "My people, them ain't my people. He said, those are the same people, you know what I'm saying, that made fun of me basically back in the day. Why would you use those same type of people just to take another group of people out? It's like you fucking with."
Because you can arrest them for gang violence and you can arrest them for drugs all in one fell swoop, and it look like a big ass arrest.
I mean, it's a theory. It's definitely a theory. I think I thought it was smart for them to put this down as part one. To basically, do this like a to be continued joint.
And they named it the Iliad,
which is interesting.
Very interesting.
Then how Teddy gun wound was you know what I'm saying? It was bad, but it wasn't the worst. But for him to just take off Oso like that, man, he left Oso hanging. Left him hanging. And Franklin had to be the one to to save Oso. And then they had to get to a payphone. I mean, they are in Mexico City, boy. Like, these dudes came up, yo, what's in the bag? Yo, these moms running through town. And Oso told him, he looked around, he scoped it out. Franklin, I don't know how long we're going to be able to stay here. And he was like, but he not paged everybody. He just need everybody to hit him back so they can get a ride. And those dudes, but this is the thing though, and they talked about this. It seemed like the Mexican gangs, like they was in a drought too. So I think they wanted to make a robbery on them because their pockets are getting lighter. So they just see an opportunity to make a hit because they're like, yo, you got a black dude and another Mexican dude walking together, just carrying, bags. Also like it's dirty laundry. They're like, ain't no damn dirty laundry.
They said, let me see your dirty underwear. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy as fuck. But this episode is like the beginning of what probably is going to be a downfall, because now with V getting the scare that she got, you know what I'm saying, she stepped up to the plate.
I think that was an act, but go ahead.
Well, this is what I mean when I say, so after they get shot at, and so V is like, yo, y'all look like drug dealers. So y'all give me y'all guns. I put them in my purse because they're going to come straight for y'all. So, yeah, that one part I think is an act. What I think is not an act is her actually being shot at while she's pregnant. This is what she had a conversation about Franklin about. It's like, yo, are we safe? We need more security. And now I'm actually getting shot at. You need to quit this game, like ASAP.
But see, I don't think that's the case because that's the initial plan. They already doing that. That was the whole purpose of getting Louis and Jerome in there. So that's a way for him to get out of there, build with the compound thing. I think that initially, right, we forget that she's a lawyer. So she knows the game. She knows how to work with all of this. What was interesting to me was that never played part in anything in this situation. Why didn't she bring that up if she's a practicing lawyer?
You mean to the cops?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I don't. It would have made sense for the simple fact
well, I don't know. Is she a practicing lawyer anymore? I guess that would make sense. I mean,
that is a good question. I don't know if that she's still a lawyer, but she ain't practicing it anymore. But I think she might be because you be needing a lawyer to go over the paperwork of all of this stuff when it comes to real estate and signing papers, and you be needing notaries and all this type of shit like that. So maybe she is a practicing lawyer, but there's different types of lawyers. There's lawyers that read over contracts. There are lawyers that are entertainment lawyers. There are lawyers that do DUI. There's trial lawyers that do murder. So like, I think that she is still a practicing lawyer, but I think that she's one of those lawyers that look over, properties and all that type of shit like that. Because when you get into business with anything, and there's a thing called, contracts, you be needing lawyers to go over these contracts. They're just like all of these, rappers and entertainers and stuff, they be getting bad deals and stuff. They be having lawyers look over that shit. So I just think that she's just one of those lawyers that look over paperwork, and so they don't get, fucked up in any of those deals. So Franklin don't sign something that he don't need to sign, basically. Like,
right. So she ain't like a defending lawyer or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe she used to be. Like, she probably
but now
was.
It's more so like a corporate or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think so let's back up a little bit. So V told Franklin, let me talk to V. No, let me talk to Louis and Jerome. Maybe they need to hear a different voice. So she goes and gets Sissy. And so they're sitting down, and Sissy is trying to explain to them, yo, this drug game is gonna crumble.
Yeah.
And like what this deal is gonna do is gonna be able to pull y'all out of the game.
Right.
And it's like, my question to you is, even though we said we think Jerome is like kind of like done with this shit, but do you think they don't want to leave the game?
No, I think they do. I think that what they don't want to do is be tied up with Franklin, right? Because I think they see Franklin as this like this control freak. And I think what they're trying to do is eventually get away from even being under his thumb for real. Like, it's already enough that, you are a nephew, but it make it even worse when like you the top dog. Like, now everything gotta include us. Like, why? Like, we already told you we ain't want to keep working with you. We want to buy from you now. So that's already the separation. And now it's like, yo, we don't think we should invest in this. Like, we got other shit that we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they have some other plans in the making, which I thought was interesting because that's what Sissy asked them. Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? What are y'all planning on doing after this? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to get with Franklin, but you got to do something to get the hell up out of here. So, I mean, I thought that was a smart thing for them to do, but I just think that they don't want to be around Franklin. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's one of those things where, even if they just keep buying from him and you know what I'm saying, and just use him as a connect to everything else, I mean, at the end of the day, they still gonna be okay because Louis pretty much is the female version of Franklin. She just is more compassionate than he is at this point.
Do you think it's also, especially since Jerome heard that tape, do you think it's more of like it has turned into
there's some ego in there. It's definitely some ego in
there. I think it's ego.
For sure.
I think it's gotten to the point where it's like, yo, Franklin got us to this point to where we making the most money we've ever made in our life.
Yeah.
But then I think some of that ego shit came in, and they're like, yo, this is our nephew. Like, we supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, in a way guiding him. Like, we don't supposed to be taking orders from our nephew. Our nephew's supposed to take orders from us.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of turned into that. And I think that Jerome never looked at it that way until he heard that tape. And he's like, you know what? Now the hood is looking at me You know what I'm saying? As like I'm less than when it comes to my own nephew.
Right.
I don't think he ever thought that way until he heard that tape. And it was like, damn, that's what they think of me.
And that's kind of unfortunate too, because like without those two, you know what I'm saying? Like Franklin is going to be in a vulnerable position.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that they all work better together. I mean, I understand that they kind of don't see eye to eye right now, but I hope that's something that eventually they get over, because like if all of them are together and like all of them are like in unison, like same thing, including Leon and you know what I'm saying, everything else, like yo, they can be a dynasty for real.
Dude, they are well-oiled machine when they all
No,
together.
seriously, yeah, for real, bro.
And I think that what ended up happening is it's just like with them wanting to do, and I think what Franklin said was right, what Teddy told him. But I think the way that it came off to Louis looked at it like, oh, you're doing everything basically that the white man say.
Yeah.
But it was right.
Or she probably just looked at it as a complete threat. Like, yo, what you mean you would do whatever it takes? Like
that part. But I'm saying the reason we're struggling, not struggling, but the reason we're not making the money like we used to, it's not the prices. It's the fact that you wanted to go out on your own and the shit ain't working.
Exactly.
But I think the way that he said it, because Teddy said it, she's like, fuck that shit. And I think that she's ignoring the facts. Like the facts is the reason why you want the price cut, because y'all ain't making what y'all wanted, because your little, like he said, experiment didn't work. He like, I gave y'all time. I gave y'all a year.
Also, I think they losing money.
They are losing money.
No, I mean like hand over fist. And I'm gonna tell you why.
I think they don't have the 10.
I know they don't have the 10, because when they said we'll even cut it down to 5, they still didn't budge on that. But the way they was talking was they were saying that like if they give them the 10, that's all of their money. They did say that. Was a little weird. I thought that was a little weird.
They did say that, but I don't even think they got. I'm with you. I know they don't have the 10.
Not at all. I don't even think they got the 5.
They might not, and I think that's the reason why they don't want to invest, but they're trying to make it seem like it's something else.
Yeah.
And I think that they put so much of their own resources into the little side project that they want to do, and they don't want to admit their mistake.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit like, fuck, we got to tell Franklin he was right.
Right.
Because she always try to act like, and we talked about this last episode, she always try to act like Franklin came up with an idea and the shit didn't work. Franklin haven't had any bad ideas.
But you also got to remember, like, I don't think it was the situation of Franklin having a bad idea. I think it was when Franklin was down and she had the opportunity to keep things going, she realized that she can kind of do that too. Excuse me.
But what? True.
She's not as calculated as Franklin is, though.
True. But who did she like? She followed every step that Franklin did. Like he set the president down. So it's like, yeah, you ran it while he was down, but at the same time, you running it the same way that he already ran it.
But that's what I'm saying. He was the blueprint. But she's also not as calculated as he is. So that's why, like, when she was saying what she was saying, yeah, she could still run an operation. That's not an issue. It's just the fact that she can't run it as fine as he can. And that's why when they went ahead and did what they did, he told her, yeah, I go ahead and play your game with you. Like, go ahead and do it. At the end of the day, you should be crawling back to me by now. But that ego and that pride are not letting neither one of them do it.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I just think that she got a taste. She got a taste of running it. But what she's not understanding is he laid down the foundation. Like, it wasn't. What I'm saying is, it wasn't that hard for her to run it because he already laid down the game. You follow everything that he do, and this thing is gonna keep going. Right. So yeah, and then like I say, man, a lot of the times, I mean, look, you can use the same thing for the industry. Like a lot of people start out, especially back in the day, everybody started out in groups. What ended up happening? Everybody started noticing, damn, the lead singer is the guy or the girl. You know what I mean? And then everybody want to break out and do their own thing. But they was never more successful as they was as a group.
Right.
Great example, other than Bobby Brown, New Edition.
Yeah.
Now Bobby, he did, but Ralph came out with his album. He had one single. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Sensitivity. That was it. Now Johnny Gill, he did good, but look at BBW. Not BBW.
Wrong
BBD.
One. BBD,
yeah. Now they knew.
Yo, that's hilarious.
But the point I'm saying is they knew they were stronger together.
For sure.
Like they knew they couldn't go out on their own. And it's like they set their ego aside and they knew like, yo, we should form a group of 3 of us because I don't think that we could pop solo wise. Because the thing is, when it came to Ralph was, quote unquote, the most talented vocalist in the group. Bobby just had that charisma. And you know what I'm saying? And everybody just loved Bobby. When Johnny came in, he was already like a solo act anyway. Yep. So when the group broke up, they're like, hey, it's just the 3 of us left. Like, we'll just do a group together. What I'm saying is, the whole point I bring that up is that ego has kicked in to where, like you said, when she ran it for a while, she was like, yo, I can do what Franklin do.
Exactly.
But what she don't realize is she's following his blueprint for number 1. But then number 2, the most important thing is Franklin is thinking 3 to 4 to 5 steps down the road. She might be thinking 1 or 2, but she's not getting to those extra levels.
Exactly.
And that's why her shit is failing. If she let ego take over and she didn't let the brain power take over, and you brought up a great point because I didn't think about this until you said it. I don't think they got 10 and they might not have 5. And I think that they are afraid to tell Franklin because I think their pride is too high to be like, the reason we ain't investing because we ain't got it.
Exactly. So let's get to the last but not least portion of this conversation, man. Franklin also, man, you know what I'm saying? They basically escaped the shootout. And then after they escaped the shootout, they pretty much, you know what I'm saying, found somewhere to hide the car. They grabbed the money. They walked to a store. In the midst of walking to the store, they pretty much paged everybody 911. After they paged everybody 911, they get ran up on by the Vatos or the SAs or whoever they're supposed to be. Things get a little interesting. So as they continue talking or whatever, you know what I'm saying, they find out that there's money in the bag. Franklin pull out the dummy gun. Everybody skeet off, you know what I'm saying, except one person. He like, yeah, I ain't no runner. And you know what I'm saying? He like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? They about to knuckle up real quick. Also like, nah, turn around, my boy. He turned around, he said, run. You know what I'm saying? They get going, they find a place to hide, toss the money. They have to break into a house so they could use a phone. Unfortunately, they broke into the wrong house. They broke into the house of the dude who also has a hole in his basement and throws people down there and yells at them and tells them to put the lotion on the skin. That's who that nigga is in real life. Yo, bro. He shot them niggas with tranquilizer darts, man. And then he said, That nigga Franklin said, "Yo, are you gonna stuff me?" He said, "Nah, you too skinny." He said, "But your friend over here." He said, "Your friend over here." Yeah, he said, "Also, get up." He gonna stuff me. Hey, bro, that shit is hilarious, bro. And this is what I mean when I say, like, when you hear that old head story and the old head tell you something that happened, and then you be like, man, that ain't happened. This is the part where the old head be like, man, then we break in this one dude's house, right? Man, this fool shot us with a tranquilizer dart, and then we wake up next to a tiger in a cage. Nigga, you be like, man, shut up, man. You ain't waking up no damn tiger in a cage. This is what I mean by that. And so they wake up, it's a tiger in a cage, they in the other cage. And that's the end of part one. I don't even know what question to ask, bro. Listen.
Hey,
this is superb. This is superb writing right here, because you can tell they just have like old school gang members, old school drug dealers. Like they got everybody from that era, and you could tell like they either was interviewing them, they was talking to them, or they got them as consultants, whatever. Like you could tell they got people from that era in this I'm gonna say in this conversation, in this writing room, or talking to these writers or whatever, because this seems like some shit that would happen during the drug era.
Listen, so we talked about this. We believe it has to be 86 because they showed the Len Bias joint. Scarface came out in 83, my guy. Scarface came out in 83. Listen, these motherfuckers are too obsessed with Scarface. Like, he got a tiger. I'm bringing a tiger to the hood. And if anybody break in here,
they not in the hood no more?
They in the Mexican hood.
Bruh, they are in the Mexican hood, but they ain't in the hood. And let me tell you something. I don't know what this dude does. He probably a taxidermist. But
he has to be. There's too much stuff sitting there.
This nigga had an alligator on the couch.
On the couch, my guy.
This nigga,
Franklin came around the corner.
House, bro.
He came around the corner. That bear scared the shit out of him.
Man, he said, he started laughing, bro. Hey, man, ain't nothing scarier than doing that, and then you turn around and see a bear, bro. A full fledged, like it wasn't like no statue. Like, nigga, this was it like a real bear. Like, so yeah, I don't know, man. I think that I think somehow they're gonna escape, of course. But the one thing about this show that I have to keep reminding myself is that this is like the 70s and the 80s. Because I was about to say one time, like in watching this, I was say, why this nigga just call him on his phone? But I keep forgetting that this is an older show. Yeah. I keep forgetting this is an older show. Because he was like, man, we got to make it to a payphone. And I'm like, for some odd reason, something just went through my head, like, where the fuck they find a payphone? And I keep forgetting, bro, this is an older show. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That was just something I had to go through. But yeah, man. Let me ask
you something though. Do you think also, and this is just something popped up in my head, gonna sacrifice himself? Because after the episode, they showed a little thing where the dude like opened up that thing to where the tiger can access them. Do you think that he's gonna sacrifice himself so Franklin can get out?
No.
Or do you think that
I think he's just gonna be a victim of the circumstance? I don't think he's gonna sacrifice. I just think he's gonna be a victim of the circumstance.
Could be. It's gonna be interesting to see how he gets out. But like, just think of the odds of walking into that's like, what movie was that?
Oh, by the way, bro, great graphics in this one too. The fact that was a CGI tiger was amazing. It looked real as hell, for real. I'm gonna give him credit on that. That didn't look like no fake tiger,
dude. And we talking about FX. They put some money into that.
Yeah,
they put some money into that.
That was a pretty good. That was some pretty good graphics.
Yeah, I'm definitely not mad at it at all. So, man, but listen, this was a wild episode, man. And then we glossed over it, but when it came to the nurse lady that fixed up Teddy, and she found them drugs because she was just like, yo, I can't leave a shot up car in my front yard, not in this neighborhood. And then she saw that drugs in the trunk, man. I don't know what she's gonna do with it, man, because I think.
Well, she knows
She knows what he does.
Yeah,
she knows what he does. Obviously,
so it ain't like she don't know. What I think she's gonna do, right, is I think she's gonna move that from there to the house, and I think that she's gonna do some misery shit to Teddy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Teddy is going to be in for the ride of his life. He's going to have to kill that woman because, first and foremost, she was fixing his shoulder, but his pants was halfway off.
Yo, she's raping Teddy.
Okay. Yeah, man, that. Okay, thank you. I knew it. I'm gonna say I'm not the only one that was thinking that because I'm sitting there looking at the scene. I'm like, why my man pants down? Like, what the hell going on? And then when she started talking, I'm like, oh, this shit is getting wild. I'm like, man, they adding in a whole bunch of stuff in this. So it's like you got misery, you got what is that? Is that Silence of the Lambs where dude be like, it puts the lotion on the skin?
I don't remember that in Silence of the Lambs.
What movie is that?
I'm not sure. But yeah, she got some freaky shit going on. Now, when I say she's raping Teddy, I think she's gonna rape Teddy. I think that when she was sitting there rubbing one off, when she was sitting there masturbating in front of Teddy,
was wild.
I think she was getting herself hype enough to do it. I don't think she done it yet, but I think that after she moved that car and shit, and then she comes back.
Yeah, it is. Damn, I'm good, bro. I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I don't remember Silence of the Lamb like that. Like I seen it, but like it was one of those ones where it was like, okay, I watched it. It's good.
Hello, Clarice. Yo, that scene in particular though, like niggas forget, like he was like. He was spraying niggas with a water hose when they was in the hole, bro. Yo, that movie is wild, bro. We gotta cover that eventually. But that movie is fucking wild. He was spraying niggas with a water hose, bro. That shit is funny.
That is funny. But yeah, man, like yeah, she's gonna rape Teddy at some point.
I think she already did it.
I don't know. So why masturbate in front of him?
Because so listen, I think they used to bone. Right. And I think she was either like an intern or something like that. Like she had something to do with what was going on because she know too much already.
Yeah.
And apparently he was either paying her off to be quiet or whatever the situation was. And he got gone after he met old girl and had the kid. But somehow, some way they used to bone. I'm telling you this now. Mm-hmm. And this is just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm finally coming to terms with it. I'm good now. We about to get busy. And she is like either super obsessed with dude or she just want her payback.
Okay.
That's what I think it looks.
I can see that.
Ooh, excuse me. But man, I'm ready for episode 6. I already know you watched the, you know what I'm saying? You watched the coming attraction part of the show. So we're gonna leave that one up in the air. I don't even want to ask what you think is gonna happen next because right now it's so much stuff going on, like especially with it going into a part 2 and then them calling it the Iliad, which I think is very, very descriptive. Because have you ever read the Iliad?
Nah.
Okay, so like the Iliad is basically the story of multiple people during the Trojan War. And that's exactly what they did with this particular episode. They basically gave you various versions of every, like, because if you notice, this is one of the first episodes of the season that basically has everybody in it. It got Teddy in it. It got Franklin in it, got Leon in it, and it got Louis and Jerome in it. And it got Oso in it. Yep. So it got the main characters, everybody in this joint. I think that's a very, very, you know what I'm saying, important thing to kind of keep an eye on as well. And then once again, like I said, the Iliad is basically different accounts of the Trojan War. I mean, different accounts of people's lives during the Trojan War. So this is also hinting at a war that's about to either occur or that's just started. And we haven't seen Scully yet, so we don't know if Scully is involved in this either. So just something to keep an eye on. So for right now, let's get to the coming soon. You ready, man?
Yes, sir.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
All right, man. So with the coming soon, bro, as I mentioned it last episode with the documentary that we did, he was talking about how this next movie was going to be very, very interesting with the jury and everything else. This movie is 12 Angry Men, and I did a little research here and there. I was looking at some clips and everything else, but I remember you bringing this up before we even did that episode, and you had talked about the actor that's in it, because I think we were talking about him.
Yeah, Henry Fonda, man.
Henry Fonda. Yep.
He was a huge actor back in the day, man. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows his daughter Jane Fonda.
Mm-hmm.
But the one of the reasons for number one, this is my favorite like no color movie. Like it is a really, really good movie. Even the trial that they're covering is, you know what I'm saying, there's something that I think that you would be very interested in as well. But I really wanted to do this movie because, and for the people that don't know, it's the 1957 version. Is the fact of for a person to go into a room to deliberate, and everybody from all 11 people guilty, and this one guy was able to sit there and convince every single person one by one.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? By coming with evidence. And I was like, yo, I feel like Scoops Brunson, one of those people who can go in one of those rooms and be like, hell no, this shit didn't happen like that.
Me beyond the
reasonable doubt
is on the state beyond reasonable doubt that this man is guilty.
Exactly. So I think that this is a great movie. And then, like I said, the trial ended up being they basically try to get a black man locked up for a murder he didn't commit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. And for Henry Fonda, you know, to be the actor that he was, and then to have a daughter that become out to be a legend as well. Not even just on screen. Like this lady used to get locked up during the civil rights movement. Like she's like one of those white ladies that was like deeply involved in like the civil rights and shit like that. She used to get locked up with all of them and all that shit.
Extensive movie resume.
Exactly. So yeah, man. So I just think that this is one of those.
She got a daughter too?
She does, but I don't know if her daughter is
like that?
Famous like that. Cause she got, I mean, I don't recognize these names as in them being well, she ended up being one of them ended up being the actress, but I mean, I don't recognize any of these movies. But yeah, this was one of those families.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, dude. I think once you see it, I think you'll be like, oh shit, like I can see how it's not fuck with this movie.
For sure. Oh no, never mind. That's what I was thinking of. Never mind. So you know what I'm saying? 12 Angry Men will be the next episode next Tuesday. Well, I'm gonna quit saying that. Next episode. So y'all keep it, you know what I'm saying, your ears and your eyes open. I keep forgetting that we record on Tuesdays. Forgive me. So yeah. Make sure, you know what I'm saying, you hit us up on the socials, on Twitter and Instagram at ViewAnon Also hit us up on Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group. Hit me up on Twitter at Scoots Bronson and also on TikTok at Scoots Bronson TV.
Yes, sir. Y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and Twitter at 28 Minutes or Less Pod on IG. Check out the last episode that is out, episode 77 that I did with Tyrone Collins. Episode is doing really good, especially on the YouTube page, which is what's the YouTube page? Stolen Time Podcast Network. So you can either watch it or listen to it on all major platforms. But that's all I got, dude.
Man, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated as always. And like they say in Hollywood, man, that's a wrap.
Good.
Oh, that's a clean finish. I like that. Man, that was a clean finish.